So our designers take anywhere between 6 to 10 months. Average, let's say 6 months. So if you're buying your dress 6 months before your wedding, you should not encounter rush fees. Anything less than that, that's when the rush fees kick in. If it's only 4 months before your wedding or 2 months before your wedding, yes, absolutely, you're gonna have to pay rush fees. Most of our designers can get you a dress. Let's say if you have a week before your wedding, you can get a dress, but it will probably be about $1,000 rush fee.
So hi, Earleen.
Hey, Natasha.
How are you?
I'm so nervous.
No, don't be. How are you? Just generally speaking.
I'm good.
You're good?
Except for the weather, I'm good.
Like I was saying to you earlier, like 90% of my brides end up with Revelle dresses.
Love that. Thank you so much.
So how about we start nice and easy and just tell us a little bit about how Revelle came to be.
How Revelle came to be. Well, I've always really loved weddings. Like I'm that girl that kind of loved weddings since, like, I planned my whole wedding when I was, young.
Yeah.
But I worked in the government for 25 years. So I retired and then I just wanted to do something for myself. Right. I retired early, so I don't want to give away my age. But, I had been in the wedding industry because I was producing wedding shows with a friend of mine called Tie the Knot.
Yes.
So the Tie the Knot wedding show was our wedding show. And so I had a lot of contacts within the wedding industry. And an opportunity came about to kind of start in the bridal industry, and I jumped on it. So Revelle originally was called Encore Bridal. So we originally were selling consignment dresses. So dresses on consignment or pre-owned or samples. And we quickly found out that brides want to buy new. So we started ordering from like really cool designers, and then I guess the rest is history.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so did you have any like experience in sort of the fashion industry? Like how did this come to be?
I had a friend that owned a bridal shop. And I always really loved, like just dress up, and like everything's so pretty in the bridal industry, right? So I don't really have like a background in fashion, although I love fashion. And I just love weddings. Who doesn't love weddings? Right?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I freaking love it. Yeah.
So, and then I just started researching really cool designers that weren't already in Ottawa.
Right.
And I wanted to make sure that what we brought to my store were designers that weren't already here.
Of course.
So I didn't want any duplication of the same dresses, the same brands. I wanted exclusivity on the designers that we have. So that was really important to me. And there's so many out there that aren't already here. So I wanted to bring that to Ottawa, and we're still kind of researching and looking out for new designers, new indie designers to bring in.
Right.
So stay tuned for 2020.
Ooh. So what would you say your Revelle bride looks like?
Oh, geez, that's hard.
It's hard to pinpoint.
Yeah, trendy. Really fashionable. I find a lot of our brides are very fashionable, really concerned about how they're going to look on their wedding day.
Yeah.
Like, they're also very conscious of where their dress is from. So a lot of them are concerned about it being made ethically. So a lot of the designers we have they're not mass produced.
Right.
So most of them, all but one, I guess, are basically indie.
Right.
So they're made to order dresses.
Wow.
So they're not done in a factory. There's no, child labor or anything like that. Very ethically made. And a lot of our designers are Canadian. So we know they want to support local.
Yeah.
And they're not really concerned about, I don't want to say they're not concerned about money, but they're concerned about quality over price, I guess.
Yeah.
So they're willing to spend a little bit on their gown if it means that it's it looks good and it's made well.
So what do you love most about working in the wedding industry?
Like just seeing brides happy and when they make their choice.
Yeah, that must be quite the...
It's so fun.
Seeing them find the one.
Yeah. Well, like it's just the same when you're videoing, like when you're taking their video on their wedding day. You like seeing them happy. It's just when they make that choice and, you know, you see them either crying or their whole group crying or them being just so ecstatic, it's really rewarding. It sounds like such a cliche, but it is. It makes me really happy. Yeah.
I feel that. So one of the main reasons I wanted to have you on was because I think a lot of brides are very confused about the timeline and how long it takes from beginning to end to find that perfect dress. And so let's just dive in a little bit
about the timelines.
Yeah.
We're getting asked about that a lot because I know there's a lot of recent engagements over the holidays. So for us, we work a little bit differently just because a lot of our designers are indie. So it takes them a little bit longer to create your gown, right? Because they're not sitting in stock in a factory, anywhere from 6 to 10 months is our timeline. So we really encourage brides to start shopping, 10 to 12 months out of their wedding. So if you just got engaged over the holidays, and you're getting married 2021 January, it's not too early to start shopping now.
Yeah.
Right? Give yourself a year and then you don't have to worry about the stress of having to pay rush fees or not finding the gown that you want. Sometimes the journey of finding your wedding gown takes longer than, a couple months. It may take 2 to 3 months.
That's the thing, you never know, right?
Exactly.
Everyone is different.
Everyone's different.
I think you polled your
just
your
did
brides.
A poll, yeah. I was talking about a secret project. I was so excited to do this poll, and we have responses anywhere from, I found my dress on the first visit to 60 dresses. So it's insane, 60 dresses. So that's obviously over more than
the average
shop, right? But usually you want to give yourself enough time to be able to shop around if you need to, and then to look and research what styles you want. Start a year early, a year and a half early. We already have brides that have their dresses for February, March, April 2021. Yeah. So, and they started shopping last year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But again, it gives you that peace of mind that you know that you're giving yourself lots of time, and it, like you said, it might take just a couple visits, and then or it might not. And either way, if you give yourself the time.
Yeah. And also too, if you're particularly interested in one dress, you don't know if that's going to be discontinued. You don't know how long it's been around. So if you are really interested in that dress, go and try it on. We have a bunch of dresses now that are super popular that are being discontinued as of March 1st. And it might be your dress, right? So come in and try it on. You can still order it. And if you don't order it, then it's gone. You'll have to buy it secondhand. That's your only option. Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about rush fees. So what are they and when do they start to kick in?
Yeah. So rush fees are something you never want to have to encounter. You're already paying enough for your dress. So if you're ordering anywhere between 6 to 8 months, then you should be okay.
Right.
But anything less than that, you're probably going to pay the rush fees. They really depend on designer. So our designers take anywhere between 6 to 10 months. Average, let's say 6 months. So if you're buying your dress 6 months before your wedding, you should not encounter rush fees. Anything less than that, that's when the rush fees kick in. So if if it's only 4 months before your wedding or 2 months before your wedding, yes, absolutely, you're going to have to pay rush fees.
Right.
They depend on the designer. Most of our designers can get you a dress. Let's say if you have a week before your wedding, you can get a dress, but it will probably be about $1,000 rush fee. Wow. So otherwise, we could still get your dress if it's 2 or 3 months before. It'll probably be an average about $300 to $400.
Okay, good to know. One of my brides had a question about alterations, and when in that timeline should they be making alterations to their dress?
So for us, we like to start 2 to 3 months out. So 2 to 3 months before your wedding. That also plays into that timeline where we're suggesting that you're ordering your dress, 10 to 12 months before, because then you're getting your dress 3 months before your wedding. and then you can start your alterations right away. We work with 2 very experienced in-house seamstresses. Okay. So we only do Revell purchase dresses because they know their they know our dresses. They know how to alter them. They know what needs to be done. So we'll start around 3 months before, and then we want you to have your dress 4 weeks before your wedding. Yeah. That way there's like no stress.
Yeah.
You have your dress 4 weeks before your wedding, then you can worry about all the little things that you have to do before the big day, right? Yeah. You don't have to worry about coming to fittings because there's multiple fittings that you have to take into account. We like to do at least 3 fittings for alterations. Sometimes it's 4, sometimes it's 5. It depends on how much you need to have done on your dress.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Super, super good info. So tell me, what does the future look like for Revell?
Future, this is the hardest question ever. The future, like for us, I think we're still pretty new.
Yeah.
We've only been around. We're going into our 3rd year, right?
That's crazy to me.
Yeah.
I don't know. You guys are doing so well.
How long have you been around?
A year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it seems like you do so many of our brides. Right?
Yeah. No, it's true. It's true. So.
Because it's like everybody I ask, it's Dear Darling is doing our video. It seems like you've been around for longer than a year as well. So I guess we're still kind of working on finding our niche in the market in Ottawa. There's so many awesome bridal shops here. We're all pretty good friends, even though there's some healthy competition there. Yeah. But for us, it's just really finding where we fit in terms of the market, like who our bride is. And we're still kind of learning who the ideal Revelle bride is. So I think for me, the future is just continuing to work on our branding and our ideal demographic and really catering to them, and then trying to find the right designers to bring to those brides that we don't see anywhere else. So
I noticed that you recently took a trip to, I think, New York, was it?
Yeah,
just
so fun.
That is super cool, and I think it speaks to the fact that you're doing your research and you're going out there to find the best of the best. And
we're going again in April. Yeah. So it's April and October is when bridal designers release their collections, right? Mm-hmm. So we're always looking for that new up and coming, designer. Yeah. That's different, because we're not really we're very different. We're not your traditional bridal shop. We don't have a lot of the big, poofy, glittery, blingy, blinged out dresses. It's very modern and clean lines, boho, different laces, modern laces, not granny laces and old fashioned lace. Not to knock people who love that, but
there's different dresses for different brides.
Different dresses for different brides. So we're trying to appeal to that modern kind of bride who wants something totally non-traditional. So we get a lot of brides who'll come in and they want this, they'll show us pictures of these huge ball gowns, and we don't have anything like that. So I think one of the things we're going to start doing is really trying to educate our audience to know what to expect when they come in. Mm-hmm. Because if you're looking for a certain look and we don't have it, then we'll suggest to go somewhere else. We know who else, the other bridal stores in Ottawa, we know what they carry. So, and we're not going to not tell you to go there if we don't have it, right?
Of course.
We want to help you. So.
Cool. Well, thank you so much for taking some time out of your day to chat with me.
My pleasure. Thank you so much for having me.
How can listeners stay in touch with Revell and know what you're up to?
Instagram. The gram. Yeah. We're really big on our Instagram. That's basically where, we're trying to educate our brides, and we're trying to showcase all our designers, all our new styles coming up. Facebook is kind of non-existent anymore. I don't know.
It's dying, yes.
We don't get a lot of engagement. Do you get a lot of engagement?
No, and I don't know who I was having a conversation with earlier today, but I was just saying exactly that I don't feel like there's any engagement there. Yeah.
So Instagram is really where it's at. We don't even really do anything on Twitter. We're really trying to build our Pinterest. Mm-hmm. So that's new. So go check us out there.
And it's at Revelle Bridal?
All at Revelle Bridal. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, thank you again.
Thank you so much.